Hello, hello, hello. Episode 37 of the Rolls Royce. So, we're starting off this one in my kitchen because I'm going to try to clean up these bits of the carpet. There's still other bits of carpet that are kind of glued into the car, but they can just be done with this, with the little handheld tool. So I fixed up this in a previous T-brake repair video. I'm hoping it's going to work okay. It looks to be working okay. It just needed a new belt, so it wasn't really much fixing going on. And I bought some carpet detergent. No nonsense stuff from Screwfix. That's diluted. You're supposed to dilute that 1 to 100. So you put in 50 millilitres to 5 litres. So yeah, that's going to last a long, long time. So now, these are the original mats of the car, this grey colour here. You can see that horrible staining. But hopefully, the Bissell carpet cleaner will make short work of that. And now, that is one of the replacement mats that I bought from eBay. Now, for those of you that's following along, I did actually buy a driver's mat, but I forgot it actually came with a passenger mat. This was bought last year and they're in black because my initial thinking was, long story short, but basically I'm missing, there was a bit of house carpet down on the driver's side. These three are the original ones. Now these do match the bottom of the capping of the doors as well. The bottom kind of kick things are made out of carpet and they're nicely grey as well. But I thought to myself, because I couldn't get a grey driver's one, that I would put black down and then what I would do is put black mats down in the back. And you know what? I might do that because these are in very, very good condition. The problem is, and I don't really know if it's a problem, if you have a look here, that's what it would have been like originally. Can you see there's a nice little heel pad there? But look at this one, this has had a repair. And it did say in the eBay listing that it's had a repair. But it looks like it's been very well done. It doesn't look like a kind of My Mate Vince repair. It actually looks like it has been repaired by a professional. So that might not be a problem. So I might still go with that. So I think this is what I'm thinking about doing. A lot of people have commented that I could dye this one, and that is a very good idea because I could dye it grey and hopefully it's going to look similar to these ones here. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm just going to clean everything. I'm going to hoover them all, clean them all and try to get them looking good. Then I can worry whether I'm going to dye that or go over to the black. But the good thing is I've got options. Look at the state of that. What? That is... feels like sand. Whoa. NMV. Wow. Okay, well that happened when I hoovered out this end here. So maybe it's beat the stuff through right the way through. So I'm going to keep vacuuming this over and over again. Yeah, look at that, it's when I hoover the bottom. It just keeps on coming. Right, I think I'm going to get the Servo vacuum cleaner on it. I think it might get up more dirt. I didn't realise they'd be so dirty. Oh my, oh my! Well, I'm just going to keep on doing this. There's no point in cleaning it until I get all this stuff out of it. And then hopefully it will get to the stage where when I'm vacuuming it for like 2 or 3 minutes, that once that stops coming out, maybe that will suggest that most of it's clean. I suppose a good thing here would be to put it on the line outside and beat it with a stick and let all that come out of it. Like they used to do years ago. Remember they used to beat carpet like that to get all the dirt out? Because that is serious there, there's loads. Right, I've done it about 10 more times. It's never ending, but look, that's a lot less than it was before. I'm now going to put some spot cleaner on it and then leave that for a bit, and then hopefully we can get the Bissell carpet cleaner on it and let's see how it comes up. And while that's drying in, I just want to clean the edge with some leather wipes. Oh, I'm excited excited. It's already starting to look better, believe it or not. So obviously the paint on the leather all around the edge here has come away because I believe this is leather edging. Very good quality, this carpet here. So now I'm looking forward to getting the Bissell on it with some nice, not boiling water, but just warm water with some of the no-nonsense carpet cleaner. And then, yeah, we'll see what sort of dirt comes up in the tank. It's very hard to use. It's not, it's very hard to use this because this is made for like a carpet in a room. Not this. This here is made for a hand tool. It's just that I like the fact that it's got the rotating bristles on the bottom, so I think it will do a better job. Even though it does mean I have to do the splits and everything around the place when dragging it around. Right, let's do this one. So I'm just going to switch it to to hand tool, and now let's turn it on again. Right, check this out. So I'm not pressing this button anymore because every time I press this button, it shoots out the water. I'll show you that first of all, but all I'm doing now is going across it, and even though it feels like it's just damp, you can see loads of suds and water flying up here. Check this out. I'm really happy I got this carpet cleaner to fix rather than just hiring one, because by the time I've hired it twice, then I would have easily paid more than what I paid for this. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. What I'm going to do now is I just want to show you the dirt that's actually come out of this tank. It's definitely picking up dirt. And then I want to show you a close-up of trying to remove the coffee stained carpet, or tea stained, or whatever stain it is. Right, let's see if it's dirty. So let's put the plug down. Yes it is, look at that. So it's definitely pulled dirt up. Look at that, that really is a lot darker than expected. Fantastic. Right, the main event, the coffee stained one. I'm going to do this with the hand tool, so hopefully we can see it actually coming up clean as we do it. I've hoovered it, or vacuumed it, I'm going to keep getting that wrong, and done some spot staining treatment on it. Let's give it a go and see what it looks like. Now, I was about to say life is not like the adverts because I can still see numerous stains here. It's definitely not out. But looking through the camera lens, oh wow, that certainly does look good. So in this instance here, life is like the adverts through the camera lens. I've done that now purely for the camera. The end result is that I want this clean, so I'm going to use the actual floor cleaning bit of it and just go backwards and forwards, and hopefully it will come up good. Now, just in case some of you attempt to do this on your own Rolls Royce carpets, don't. I believe you're not supposed to shampoo or get your wool carpets particularly wet because I think they can shrink. I haven't really got a choice here. You can see how disgustingly bad these carpets are. They haven't been looked after. If they were looked after from new, you could get away with just vacuuming them and then just spot treating them. But I haven't got that luxury. No amount of vacuuming is going to make these stains go out. So I have to use this. But obviously, don't copy what you see in these videos. Anyway, let's give a shout out to them. My mate Vince Massive, and the members this month are kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Having Fun Repairs, Will Michaelis, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeebs.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Robert from Timsy's Auto Air, Daniel Watson, Zeeks C, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Operational 117, Russ Melanson, Ellis Garbett, and Gaspar Heller. So massive thank you guys. Now let's see the end result on this carpet. Well, I think we can definitely agree it looks much better than it did before, but I'm still not sure what it's going to be like when it dries. I still think it's going to have slight stains of brown, so this might well need another go, but it was very bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the cream version over here that my son's already had a go at, this one here.
I still really haven't made up my mind. I might go for black, you know. I really might go for black just because they're so clean and nice. But if I could dye that a similar colour to here, then I think it would be much more in keeping with the car because all the other bits are light grey. So let me see how this one comes out after I give it a nice good clean. I'm just vacuuming out this one. I've just noticed, look, so we have a hole for the accelerator, hole for the brake, and a hole for the parking brake. But look at this one here, the black one. We have accelerator, brake, but there's no parking brake. So obviously that's for a different model again. Right, this one here is causing me real trouble, which is strange because initially when I got this one from eBay, it did look in good condition, but my son spent a good, must have been 45 minutes spraying that stuff on and scrubbing it, and it was still discoloured. It was like a beige colour, then going to golden colour, or golden brown colour around the footrest there, with also some other stains around the place. As well as that, the pile doesn't feel the same as that. That feels better quality. This feels like good quality carpet, but it feels a lot softer to the touch. I don't think it's the same pile. As well as that, this carpet here, even when it's damp, doesn't smell. I've had my nose down to it. It doesn't, there's not a smell off it. This one here smells around 60% damp dog and 40% fresh cat turd. It's disgusting. I'm having to resort to put this one in the bath, and then hopefully that will get out all the stains, because you see it could be coming from the other side of the mat, because the other side of this mat is very, very damaged. It's actually flaking away in the middle there. So maybe that's where all the smells and stuff are coming from. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a day for the cleaning today. They're still very, very damp. They will really, really lighten up when they're dry. Out of all of them, I mean, I'm really happy. I think the coffee stain one may need another go. But it's just this one here has been a massive letdown for me. But saying that, when it's dry, it might look better. The thing is, the pile is starting to wear away from this bit here now. It's actually bald in certain places. You know, across here is completely bald. So yeah, not really sure. But saying that, those kind of golden stains on it, when it's dry, they might not be as noticeable. But if they are, then I think they're going to go if I was to dye it grey. So I might do that. I suppose really I should give that a go, and then if it doesn't work, just go with black at the front, and then get two back black matte Rolls Royce ones, you know, cut to size for the back here, and stick them on here. And I don't know if anybody would really notice that that side little bit here is a different colour. So yeah, I might do that, but I think I'll go with the dye on this one to give it a go. I don't think it's overly expensive. I think about £20 you can get a tub of dye for it. So and then I think you just put it on with a paintbrush and just get it into all the pile, and then yeah, let it dry, and then hopefully that will be it. Overall though, I'm very happy with it, and this thing's performed brilliantly. So yeah, well worth buying that from eBay. Check it out, they're all drying nicely, even that one. So I think I'm going to go get myself some grey dye. Right, I'm back at my dad's now, and I'm going to try some carpet dyeing. So overall I'm happy with the way these have come out. There is still a few stains on, but remember the sun's beating down on them now. When they're in the car there's going to be shadows cast everywhere. I think they'll look just about perfect. I also found this as well when I bought the car. This was given to me, and it says here RR Rolls Royce Bentley Parchment 250 millilitres bespoke leather dye. So at least I can buy some more of that if I need it for the seats and stuff like that. And also I'm going to try to be touching up around here, this stuff around here. Now I know I'm getting distracted, but this is the little light that goes on the bonnet when you open it up there to light up the engine compartment in the dark, and it's never worked. Now I've just popped this out, it's just on a rubber seal, and basically this end bit here was completely rusted. So the filament in the middle is okay, but this is rusted. Now I could take the, well, I would have been able to take the solder off and resolder the wire, but annoyingly the cap fell off when I was looking at the rust, and of course it went into the engine compartment, never to be seen again. But I've had a look closely, I couldn't see with my own eyes, but it's 12 volt, and I thought it said 0.5 watts, and I thought, wow, that's low, but it says C5 watts. So basically it's this one here. I had to use my phone to zoom in on it. So I'm just going to pop this one in, and hopefully the bonnet light will work. Also, this came through in the comments section, but this one here, remember I was taking the whole thing out? Well, apparently you don't need to. You can just put the rubber back and you can take out the front lens, which will give you access. So that's how I knew to do it on this one here under the bonnet. Just get rid of the rubber and take out the lens itself. Okay, so I've just changed it over there. I haven't put the glass cover back on, and guess what? Surprise, surprise, it's not working. So I was wondering where it goes to, and I can see that there's a wire here, so I presume this must be the wire that travels through the bodywork here, or the bonnet work here, to this part here. And if I look here, you can see it goes around here, and we've got a couple of connectors here. And also, if you look very closely, just if the camera can find it, there you go, you see there's a switch just here where my finger's trying to point to. I can't even get to it, a really awkward place. So there's a switch there. So yeah, that needs more investigation. Okay, so I've got my milk bottle container here cut open with hot tap water. And for things like cotton and stuff, you're supposed to use salt. And for things like wool, you're supposed to use vinegar. Now, I presume this is more wool than anything else, but I'm going to just add a little bit of salt, a little bit of vinegar, and see how we go. Now the problem is I have got malt vinegar. I'm sure you shouldn't be using that, but still, I'm going to I'll put some bits in. If it makes the mix slightly darker, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think this is going to be too light anyway. So I'm going to leave it at that. Add some salt. Oh, that smells lovely. It's like I'm having fish and chips. Put some salt in as well. And now we're going to put some of this dye in. We'll see how it goes. I don't personally think it's going to be very successful. I think I'll do that for the time being. Now I'm going to give this a mix. Right, it looks very dark at the moment, but I think when it goes on here it will be quite light. Now apparently when you're dyeing something you can only ever go darker, not lighter. And also if there was a stain here, there's still going to be a stain. So it's kind of like slightly see-through. So I'm not sure if it is going to cover up these golden brown ones. Maybe these bits here will still always look darker. Right, let's see what it's going to look like. I've got a paintbrush. Oh. Yeah, that looks pretty good initially. I don't know what it's going to dry like. Yeah, that's not a million miles off, you know. So I want to get it right into the fibres. Annoyingly, there's probably someone worldwide that has a car with cream carpets and they want a cream one, and they probably bought a grey one off eBay. And here I'm ruining a perfectly good cream one because I want a grey one. Do you know what I'm going to do with the edge here? I think I'm going to tape it up before I go any further. So I've got my lovely 3M tape that I'm using for when I was masking up the car, when I was experimenting with the spraying. Okay, I'm all masked off now. So now, let's get painting. Okay, so I'm going to leave that out to dry and we'll see what colour it ends up with. I already think it's looking lighter there. Who knows, you know, in the car with the shadows and the stuff around the place, it might not be that noticeable. Right, what I am going to do now is I'm going to get my little parchment leather dye and a little cloth, and I'm just going to touch up around those edges there, see if it takes. Right, so I've just given them one coat where needed, And it's nice, when you put it on it really looks a different colour, but as it soaks in it then starts to really blend in. I mean, I'm looking at those carpets now and I think you could almost say that they're in maybe even good condition. Obviously not immaculate, but I don't think anybody would be disgusted getting into a car with carpets like that. And I've put this one up on the line. I'm not sure what's happening with this one yet. Really unsure what it's going to look like. I think because the pile's completely different, I think it's going to look much more velvety. You know, so I think even when it dries it's going to be like light grey and dark grey, but I just don't know yet. If I look there, it definitely looks to be drying lighter. But I just think it's going to look so much different than the other carpets, because the other carpets, the more I look at them, the more I like them. They're a uniform colour. Do you know what I mean? They're just a uniform colour all over. So now, what I should be doing is, I should be getting the carpet cleaner, and I should be doing the centre bits of carpet, you know, down in that bit there. But, and also the back as well. But I'm kind of curious about this switch at the front here for the light, so I think I'm going to get the tripod set up. Let's see if I can just, I might not spend too long on it, but if it was just basically like a dodgy wire or a bad filthy connection or something, or corrosion in the switch, then I might just do that now. I know I'm getting sidetracked, but it might be fun. Now you're going to see very little of this, but first of all I'm going to undo the wires from here to here and see if I can get continuity from the light switch back. Right, they should just push in, but this one is not unplugging, so maybe this is the problem. Maybe it's very bad corrosion. Wow, it's really not wanting to come out. There we go. Oh, I can actually see another one going up to the actual switch, so that means we will be able to check the switch with the multimeter. Again, it seems to be rock solid in here. Right, okay. Tell you what, let's get a multimeter. Let's first of all check the switch. So when the wires touch together, it goes off. So now, the switch goes up to here. Let's try to force the probes into the connections. Well, it's hard to tell whether I'm on the connections or not because they're spade terminals. The male part, not the female, so it's very hard to get a contact on them. Right. Feels like I'm against them. Nah, I don't think that switch is working. Just going to plug the battery on and see if I've got where I got 12 volts down here. Right, so the battery's on, the interior lights are on, so now in theory I should be having 12 volts on one of these connections down here. There we go, we've got 12 volts there. Right, okay, on them two. Right, so 12 volts on these two. So we have got a problem with the switch, haven't we? So we've got 12 volts there. Also, what I need to check is to see if we've got resistance. Well, let's see if we've got an ohms thing going up to the bulb, going up here. Yeah, there you go, 3 ohms. And now let's just pop the light out. I know you can't see this. I've just popped that out now and we should be completely open. Which we are. So that means that wire is intact. So I can put the glass cover back in there. I'll show you what I mean by the glass cover. Yeah, there you go, 3 ohms again. Right, and if you have a look up here, this is where it goes, just here. So let's try to pop that back in. There we go. Excellent. Everything's easy when you know, so that's really easy to swap over that. Right, let's get this switch out. Right, so I need to remove this switch because I need to really take it apart or see how it's made to try and clean it, because I'm not getting any life out of my meter at all. So with this one, obviously, it makes when it's out and then it breaks when it's in. So right now it should be on and it's not. And what I've done is I've put little spade terminals on the connections here, so I've got a good clean fixing on my meter, so it's definitely making a connection, and yet we don't have anything here whatsoever, no ohm reading whatsoever. Whether I go in or out, it makes no difference. So right now I'm pressing it in, out, it doesn't change.
Dearie me, this switch is a nightmare to get to. look at the size of the engine compartment. Surely a better place could have been sited for the switch. I get why they put it near the hinge, because then that's where the wires come down from the light. You know, the wires from the light have to come to the hinge. I get that. But surely the switch could have been located somewhere other than in between a radiator and the massive bonnet hinge. The bonnet hinge isn't going to come off with long nose pliers. There's a lot of tension there. And of course, the radiator can be removed, but you don't expect to have to remove a radiator to get to a switch. For a little light, let's face it, most people are not going to bother fixing, are they? But yes, it was really annoying, super hard to get to. So I can't get to it easily, so what I'm doing is I'm trying over and over again to clean this switch up. I'm using contact cleaner, I'm pressing down on the button and using contact cleaner. I'm going to the other side of the switch and trying to put contact cleaner in. I'm putting contact cleaner all around this thing. My meter is not moving a bit. The ohms reading is the same no matter what I do. In or out, there's no difference. So the switch has to come out. I can't clean it. I tried to clean it for over 20 minutes. It wasn't making any difference. So after many adjustable spanners in and out, because every time you touch those things, they seem to lose a fraction of a millimeter, which is enough to either be too tight or too loose, infuriating, especially when you're trying to wedge it into a small gap. Eventually I do get one bolt out, but the other bolt's even more inaccessible. And I can't get my finger on the Phillips side of it to be able to undo it, because it's a Phillips bolt, so it's just spinning freely. If they had welded the Phillips bolt on, then you've only got to undo the nut on the other side, but they didn't. You need to get a screwdriver one side and a spanner the other side. Honestly, it's a really bad design. And that's coming from me. You see the bodges that I do. It's a really bad design. I would have never put a switch here, especially if someone's paying me. I don't understand why they put that switch there. I really don't. So I tried to wedge a screwdriver in there. I tried to put a flat-headed screwdriver at an angle to get to the Phillips side of the screw, and I tried to use force by forcing the nut off, whacking it round with a screwdriver. The long and short of it is, after about 45 minutes trying to work on this thing and keep knuckling myself, the switch breaks. Well, not the switch. The fixing breaks where it meets the bolt that I can't undo. So now I've still got part of the switch and the bolt on the car, and then I've got the other part of the switch in my hand. So at least we can now prove what's wrong with it. So let's bring it into the car, out of the rain, and let's see if we can work out why this switch has failed.
I can't actually see why it's failed. I presume it's oxidized in there. Let me try to pull it apart and see if we can find out where it's gone. It does want to come apart, but it's not, because you can see this bit here has been splayed over. So what happens is it gets punched through from this side, and then this side gets splayed over that. So if I get a little screwdriver and put those bits through, make them small again, then both sides should pull apart. Yeah, here we have it. It's oxidized. It's actually a very simple mechanism. So this one here, block terminal here, makes contact with this little bit, and then obviously the wire and the block terminal make contact with the other side as well, the one that's snapped off down there. And when you push this in here, it basically breaks the contact. So if you have a look here now, see, it breaks it, and then when it comes out it makes the contact. But look, can you see what's happened here? It's just purely oxidized. So annoying. Look at that. Can you see this one here? So, do you know what? I reckon it could have been cleaned by, well, I was trying to spin it. No, it wouldn't have worked by spinning, because all that's happening is I was spinning the plastic, because I tried to spin the plastic, because I thought that would clean it. I don't think there's any way you could have cleaned that. And I suppose the bottom of these are probably oxidized as well. Let's have a look at the bottom of these. Yeah, there we go. Can you see the discoloration there? Just a very tip. That's a shame, but at least we know the reason why. Okay, I've scraped back all the contacts now, and you can see they've come up nice and clean. This was actually pretty black on the underside here, but now it's nice and clean and shiny. And that one there. So let's try and get it back together, see if we can get any life out of it. Now, this was a sound I was longing to hear earlier on. Just shows you a bit of cleaning. Such a shame I couldn't get the switch out, because that would have been a lasting full-on good repair. Now I have to make some sort of bodge, unless of course I can buy one of these switches. So basically when the bonnet's open, you can see continuity is going through the switch, so the light's going to be on, and then boom, bonnet closes, kills continuity, so there's no longer 12 volts at that light. Right, let me see if I can get this back together in some fashion. Okay, it's been about 3 days later, I think. I've lost track of time. I've been on this video for a week and a half now, and I flooded this the other night with epoxy. Absolutely flooded it, as in like remade the switch with epoxy, and then I put insulation tape around it, and now the epoxy's all gone nice and hard. You can see it glistening here and glistening here, so the switch has got quite a bit of strength again now, and I've been messing with it. I must have done this about 50 times, and every single time it will work. So let the meter boot up. There we go. Watch this. So bonnet closed, bonnet open, bonnet closed, bonnet open. And let's say if you were to do the bonnet really, really slowly, you know, sometimes switches on a spring don't catch at the end. Well, look, every single time, look, really slow, really slow, really slow, really slow. As soon as I lift my finger off, it will work. Look how sensitive that is. It doesn't matter where I hold it, it will work. So every time that bonnet's open, that switch is going to work, which is good. Now, I'm going to reuse this switch. A lot of people would like me to replace it, and I understand that. But guess how much that is in flying spares? Have you guessed correct? No. £60. £60 for a switch. Ridiculous. If you type the info into Google without putting Rolls Royce in the title, then it's £30. The flying spares ones, to be fair, does come with the leads as well. It's a refurbished one, while from Google it's just a switch itself. But even £30 in my opinion is too much for a switch like that. I Googled this switch to find it, and also it came up with a forum, and it was funny because people in the forum, I feel vindicated, they were saying it's Satan's work. Whoever put it there, it's a nightmare to get to. It looks accessible, but it's completely inaccessible because it's a screw with a bolt on the end. You need 2 tools to get to it when you can't actually get to that location. So yeah, it's not just me. People have had to cut the bolts off and stuff to get to it. Right, let me show you the mats, because in my opinion they're a big disappointment. Look, it didn't dry any lighter. I thought it would dry a lot lighter. I mean, that bit there looks kind of light, the same colour as that, but they are very much different. Certain angles it doesn't look too bad. Oh, dearie me. I was really thinking it would dry so much lighter. But you know what? Even the pile's completely different. If I rub my feet all along here, all that happens is I keep getting more and more and more wool up, while with this one here, it doesn't. This is a lot harder wearing. So yeah, I'm now wondering if that's even original Rolls Royce. I'm not too sure. It might be an aftermarket carpet. So some people are going to say, well, just dye all the carpets. I'm not going to go down that road because my mix will be different, and I really like the colour of that, and that's going to suit the bottom of the doors and stuff. So what I'm going to do is keep my eye out for another carpet. Surely there can't be hundreds of different colour of grey. I presume there's going to be like light grey and dark grey. They're not going to be called that. They're going to be called for some fancy name. But if I can find out what colour that is, I'll just have to wait for one to come up on eBay, and then I can pop that one in. Shame, but anyway, look, it is what it is. Let me get the switch back in, and then I'm going to get the carpets back in, and I'm going to finish up this video. Right, people are going to love this in the comment section. My solution? I am going to zip tie it in. Yeah, cable tie and be proud. Do you know what? I think it will last for a long time. At least then I can get to the switch again in future if I want to change the switch out. Bad thing about using cable ties is obviously they're going to fail a lot quicker than using a nut and bolt. And you see, when it fails, if this was to drop down, then it's going to be on all the time, and you will get a flat battery because you won't know it's on because it's lighting up underneath here. The light is done and cable tied up, and look! My mate Vince has kept in keeping with Rolls Royce. I didn't think Rolls Royce would use cable ties, but look at what I've spotted. A cable tie. A cable tie. So even Rolls Royce use cable ties. But look at these ones. These are lovely. Look at them. Quality cable ties. Anyway, I am all cable tied up down here, and my switch is all cable tied. I should have used black cable ties, but the ones I had were slightly too thick, and then it would have blended in a lot better. I don't feel so bad now. Anyway, it's working perfectly. Look. So light, no light. Light, no light. How good is that? So happy with that. It's the little things. That's nice, that. I'm just using some wet wipes. I noticed that there was a load of like splashed up oil on that middle soundproofing thing or fireproofing thing there. Must be soundproofing. And I've come across this plaque, and it says here the paint. Look at that, the paint code, and also it says trim number. So for all I know, maybe this one here will let me know what carpet it is. You know, I'm going to just zoom in on that so I can write all that down when I get home. And maybe one of these things will be related to carpet. It might be not all to do with kind of, you know, just the parchment colour. Interesting. So yeah, I'm just wiping it down. Well, I've given it an initial scrub down, and yeah, I've certainly got rid of most of the oil and the grime, but it needs more work. But yeah, look at that, beautiful. Now I was wondering what this was. There's like a metal plate in here, and I was thinking, why is that? Because it's all sort of puffy, and then this bit's flat. But it's, of course, when you put the bonnet down, is to give room here. And there's also another plate here, and this must be to give room to maybe, would it be this area here, or something around here to give extra room so it's not fouling against it. Yeah. Good as that. Right, okay, now it is carpet time. Right, distracted again, but my friend Brian's just popped round and he asked, do the headrests move up and down? And they didn't. But then when we actually had a look at the things coming down here, we've seen that there was loads of these grooves. So obviously they do move up and down. This one on the driver's seat is also completely and utterly seized. But obviously the back's already off this one, so it's easier to do. Now, they've got these little clips that go into these holes here, but obviously there's like holes on both sides and the clips can go either way round. And then we were messing with it and it wasn't working properly. But now when we put it in this way, it does appear to work properly, and they don't want to come out either, which is good. So this one would go in this way here with the L shape pointing that way, and then on this one it would be a mirror image, so it would go in that way there. So we're going to pop that in there, and it's weird, they kind of look like they want to fall out, but when you put the headrests in, they seem to lock into place. Also, what's nice is, look, still got the original little cellophane on the Rolls Royce thing there. I'm so tempted to peel that off, but I'm going to resist. And now, also it will give me an opportunity to clean all these horrible black marks and sticky marks here from years of hair gel grease. Right, see, now, can you see that one's popped out here? So I'm going to just try to push that in more, and it should stay in if it was anything like this side. Right, let's see if that's going to work there now. There we go. And can you see, it doesn't want to come further. I'm not going to whack it, but just from normal use, it doesn't want to go further than the last notch. So now it goes to the different notches. And it is not very strong, but it's in there, yeah? Obviously, you can push it down. But I think that they would hold in whatever position you put them in. So yeah, so I have to do the same on this one here, but I can just do that one off camera. So yeah, that's quite nice, because now the headrests work, which is a massive plus. So everything is now empty, the mats have been cleaned out, front and back, so now I can get the carpet in. And I could cry. Accelerator and brake fits. Foot pedal doesn't fit there, the parking brake. Oh man.
As it turns out, it's not the end of the world. When I recite this mat with the accelerator and brake, it's just a hole that you can only see if you get in your hands and knees. So I think I can live with it. Right, I've got the driver's one in, and that hole up there is okay. It doesn't really bother me, because normally you wouldn't ever see that when you get into the car, and also when you sit down here as well, you can't see it. Do you know what? It looks so much better. Brian was just round and he said I showed him this rip here. There's a rip here that I thought would have been covered up with this mat, but it doesn't get covered up. But he said that these are normally adhesive down, you know, you put adhesive on to get these down anyway. So I have got some contact adhesive, so hopefully if I do that, I'll get rid of these kind of, because it kind of feels baggy. And if I do that, I might be able to sort out this here as well. If not, what I'll do is I'll get a needle and a thread out and I'll sew that up. So I'm going to get the rest of the carpets in now, and I'll be well happy. Sorry, I know this video's jumping around a bit. I'd actually finished a video, but I'm just showing off the car to my dad, and now I'm in the passenger seat, and you know what? That driver's thing there, from this angle, looks the same colour. So basically, right now, whether I go there or there, the carpet's looking good. So yeah, very happy with that. It's so nice because these original carpets have really nice big clips on them, so you can get them into the correct position and like clip it down into place, and then it allows you to stretch it, because these carpets, I think the washer has shrunk them just a tiny little bit. But look, can you see there, it allows me these things here, really heavy duty, and you can clip them in, which is nice, so it like stretches them. Check it out, it looks so much better. I haven't cleaned that middle bit yet, and also the footrests need to go, but it looks so clean and so nice. Oh, I haven't seen the interior like this ever. Even when I bought it there was stains and mess everywhere. Oh, look at that. You know what, I think somebody getting into that car, I don't think they'd notice straight away that that carpet was a complete different colour. It looks so much better than before, it really, really does. Well happy with it. Look at the way these bits tuck into here. It's all very, very nice. That was the one that the dog had to go at, so obviously it's a bit damaged up here. But it'd be okay, once I clean that, that will look good. And there. I'm not sure why we've got these little poppers here, because this is held in here with Velcro. So I don't know why we've got the popper bits. Would it be for the rug over mats? Because you can get these kind of big, thick, really thick piled rugs. So I reckon they're to hold them down. But it just feels and looks so much nicer. Really, really does. Let's go into the back. Ah, headrest working. Ho-ho! Need to get this back thing back on. Ah, armrest down. Look at that there. Feels lovely back here. Right, I think I'm going to end the video starting this car up. And last time I started it, it wasn't on camera, but there was I filled up more and more fuel in it. There was no more lights on, which was nice. You know, no warning lights. Right, here goes. Let's see how easy it starts. Get a couple of pumps. Come on now, what am I in? Park. Now watch here. There we go, look at that, no warning lights. Let's put the foot brake thing on here. Parking brake, and that comes on. And I can feel air being pumped out of here because I was just messing around with this the other day. Even moving these around feels nice. You know, they're tight, they're not, it's hard to explain. They're not loose, they're not tight. It feels like they're tensions. I know that sounds weird, but honestly it's a nice feeling. Oh, even that's working. Look at that there. Is my hazards warning thing working? Yes, it is. Do you know what? I've done so much work on this car. I forget how much work I've done on it. Look at that there. All the lights up here working. Fantastic. But look at that. No warning lights. I honestly now feel like I'm starting to get there. Oh, look at it. Right. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be at the end. Apologies if it's really long. Let me see the horn. Oh, hold on. Still works, dual horns. Right, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all for part 38, hopefully very soon. Take care, everyone.
I went out and tried to cut a pine tree down, fell through the ground like Alice. Oh, what a sound. This must be a nest. I got rocks and sticks against my chest. I'm Alice. Dear Queen of Hearts, I'ma grow you white roses so you can learn to be kind. Tell King of Hearts to Amelie's fall. so you can learn to